Hey guys, today is part 2 of my Dickens Christmas crafts that are made with mostly Dollar Tree supplies. Let's jump into it. For this first craft, we're going to be using this stretched canvas from the Dollar Tree. I used the size 6x8, but you can use whatever size you'd like. The printable for this craft will be down in the description box in the supply list. And I removed the canvas from the frame, being careful not to damage the front of the canvas. I gave the frame a coat of antique wax by Waverly, and you can see here that I took a piece of cardstock and using painter's tape, taped the flat part of the canvas, the front part, to the cardstock so that I can send it through the printer. And I printed on the back of the canvas instead of the more white front. Then using hot glue, I glued the canvas to the frame, making sure to center up the image. Where I didn't have my canvas taped completely perfect in the center of my page, my image printed just a little bit crooked, which was okay, but I had to cut away excess canvas from off of the frame. I love how this title page came out, but I thought it needed a little more Christmas embellishment on it. So I have this Believe ornament from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use some of the greenery that's attached to it, as well as some berries from Dollar Tree and a tiny pine cone that I had in my stash. This beautiful title page is from A Christmas Carol, this one printed in the year 1900. This next DIY is very fun and easy. You will need some tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. You will need 3 blocks per ornament that you want to make. I'm making 3 ornaments, so I started out by gluing together 3 sets of 2. I'm just using hot glue for time purposes for this video, but if you're going to be selling these or giving them away, I would definitely suggest using wood glue and clamping them. Now you have your top hats made. You're going to paint them the color that you'd like. I'm going to paint 2 of these in ink by Waverly and 1 in Ivory by Waverly. I'm not going to show me adding all of the embellishments because you will make these however you like. But I'm just showing that I'm using some of this lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I thought it was a little too wide, so I just cut it down to make it a little thinner to make it more proportionate to the hat. I wanted one ribbon to be red, so I started out painting it with Crimson by Waverly, but I thought it was a little bit bright, so I added some brown paint to it to darken it up. I used some gold color satin ribbon and added a tiny bell to one. Using a leaf from the Dollar Tree from one of their picks, I cut out tiny holly leaves to add as greenery, and I used some little berries from the Dollar Tree as well. You can switch these up and make them look however you like. For this DIY, we're going to make a couple of carolers. I took two of these old-fashioned clothespins. I think they're also called dollpins. If you know of anything else that they're called, please leave that down in the comments. But I'm just going to make two, a man and a woman, and the paint is going to represent their clothes that's underneath their jackets or coats. This is a Pinterest inspired craft. I just saw the pictures of some doll pin carolers online, and I didn't even click on them. I don't think it was a tutorial. Maybe they were for sale, but so I didn't use any sort of template or have any sort of plan and just sort of dove into it. For the man caroler, I'm using this gray felt, and I am just going to haphazardly cut out a coat shape using one of the doll pins for sizing reference. And the way I did this, it sort of reminds me of on the Grinch when he cut out the clothes for him and his dog. Um, just really just took a pair of scissors and cut out the shape of a coat. And if you're okay with that sort of crafting, I mean, that's great, but you might be able to find some sort of template online for little coats or little clothes for these little carolers. Once I got the coat looking the way I wanted it, I wanted him to have a little cape that goes around his shoulders, one of those short capes that you would see attached to those old-fashioned coats from back then. So I just cut out a half moon shape and I'm going to glue the man inside of his coat and then the cape around his shoulders. You could make him arms out of pipe cleaners, or I mean, you could do a bunch of different things for these little carolers. You could get very detailed with it and make them look amazing. I was at a bit of a time crunch when I did these, and I really just wanted to jump into and have fun with it and not get too bogged down in the fine details. Some crafts I feel are more like just for fun crafts, and then some of them, I feel a little more serious about and I want them to turn out perfectly. So it just depends on the craft and the day of the week, really. But this was one of those quick for fun things that I just wanted to see the end result and how cute it turned out. but you could really get detailed with this and just make it really amazing, and even make a whole group of carolers with different types of clothes. That would be so fun, and one day I might go back and do that. Once I got this basic little top hat made, I cut a hole in the bottom and went around sort of making some little cuts to make like a star so that it will fit down on his head a little more and not sit like perched on top of his head, but would go down onto his head some. For the lady caroler, I am using some red felt from the Dollar Tree from Crafter's Square, and I am just going to make a, I'm not sure what you would call it, a cape style coat, and just making a cone out of the fabric and gluing that together, cutting off the end, and so the little head can poke through, as well as evening up the bottom. Just going to slip that right over the little doll's head, and then I will add arms, which will be sleeves, and some little details. I cut out a sleeve shape and then just cut out 3 more so that I could double up the fabric so it wouldn't look so thin. I'm using the white car towel over in the automotive section from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut off some little rectangles, some little strips of this sort of faux fur to put on the ends of the sleeves. And on the sides, I just put a little line of glue and pinched that together so you couldn't see the inside of the sleeve there on the sides. For the hat, I just made a basic little elf style hat, just like with the cloak that she's wearing. I just made a little cone, and then I will glue a little bit of that shop automotive towel to the tip of the hat, as well as putting a strip of it along the bottom of the hat. This towel did shed a lot, and I had to clean up a lot of white fuzz off of the clothes of these little carolers. to make an accessory for the man and just to sort of make him match the woman's clothes, I'm doing a scarf for him in the same fabric. I wanted them to be holding a carol book, each of them, and so I'm just simply taking this, I believe it's called chipboard. It's like cardstock but a little bit thicker. And I'm just going to cut out 2 rectangles and fold them in half and write the word carols on the outside. Normally I would design a little book cover and print it out and have that as a printable for y'all, but like I said, I was in a little bit of a time crunch this week. And so I just wrote carols on the front and it still turned out very cute. Now, because I didn't give them arms or hands, I'm just gluing the carol book to the inside of their sleeves to make it look like their hands are sort of tucked inside of their sleeves and they're holding their carol books. It's not, perfect, but it definitely looks okay. And I don't think anyone's going to think anything about it. I haven't decided whether I want to turn these into ornaments or if I want to make little stands for them and put them on my tiered tray, but you could definitely hot glue a little bit of twine to the back and make them into ornaments if you want. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you entered the giveaway last week, keep an eye out on the community page of my channel and also keep an eye out on your comment from last week's video because I will be responding to the winner on there as well as announcing the winner on the community page. See you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day.